Here we go again. We are back together once more live on YouTube. Hello there. I know a lot of people like to listen to the piece of music that I play at the start of my live streams, but I'm just wondering, should I change it for something else? Because I've been using that piece of music for nearly 2 years now, and I'm just wondering if anyone is getting a little sick and tired. Perhaps you want me to stop using that piece of music and maybe use something different instead. Please let me know. Yes, we are back together again. Hello! It's a beautiful, lovely summer day here in England. And yes, that is where we are broadcasting live now from the birthplace of the English language, which, as I just said, is England. Okay, first of all, please give me a like. Shall we do this straight away? Please give me a little like underneath here, this video that you're watching now. Give me a lovely like to show you care and also to show that you want more of this. Please like. It sounds so desperate, doesn't it, really? Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you are feeling happy today. Please click like now. Come on, please. Please. I'll be ever so nice to you. My name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about the English language. You might say that I'm one of those. You see, a lot of people say, Mr. Duncan, we have heard that you are one of those, an English addict. And yes, you would be right. I am. I love the English language so much. You might say that I would one day, maybe one day, I will marry the English language as soon as we are allowed to do it. So it is another weekend together. We have made it to August. We often talk about August as being the peak of summertime. A lot of people think that July is the peak of summer, but I always think that August is the peak, the nicest part of the summer months. So we are now in August and everything is looking lovely today. It's a lovely, lovely day. We had very hot weather a couple of weeks ago. Then we had cool weather. Next week, things are going to get a little hot again. We have more hot weather coming our way, even today. Well, today it's around about 24 Celsius, which for many people is not very hot. I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. You always complain about the weather. But there are certain parts of the world where the temperature goes much higher than the one that you have in the UK. But the problem is at the moment we are having too much dry weather in the south of England. So much that they have started restricting water use. You cannot anymore. You can no longer water your plants, your flowers. You cannot use a hose pipe in your garden to water your grass. You are not allowed to do any of those things at the moment in the south of England. However, here everything is still pretty normal. Although, if you look behind me, you can see at the moment, because this is a live view looking out of the window, you can see everything is looking quite dry. It is very hot today, and apparently next week it's going to get very hot, even hotter than it was today. We will see what happens. Anyway, we are back and we've made it to the end of another week, and we are here today to talk all about English. We have lots of subjects coming your way. We have Mr. Steve joining us today. Mr. Steve did something very silly yesterday. We might talk about that later on. Yes, we have made it all the way to another weekend. In fact, we have made it almost all the way to a new week. Yes, it's Sunday. Sunday has arrived. I hope your weekend has been good so far. I hope it's been a good one. It's not too bad here. We've had a nice weekend. Not too busy. We went out yesterday to have a lovely walk. It was very nice, and the weather today also looking nice, as I said, looking into the distance. And the more familiar view that we normally look at is this one. And there it is now, looking outside on a glorious summer day. It really does feel as if summer is here. But sadly, not for much longer. Because, of course, when we get to the end of August, September arrives and then everything starts to get cooler again. So we will see what happens. At least the good news is next week we have lots of lovely hot weather. Very nice. I'm going to enjoy myself next week. I can't think of any other reason why I might be happy next week. But one reason for sure is that next week it is going to be fine and sunny. Hello to the live chat. Nice to see you here today. By the way, we went for a meal yesterday in Much Wenlock, as we often do on Saturday. And yesterday we sat at a different table. And the reason for that, I might talk about later on. But something a little bit annoying. You know me, I get quite annoyed from time to time by people. People can be quite annoying. Have you noticed? Yes, I think you have. So maybe I will talk about that later on, but we did have a nice meal, even though we could not sit outside because someone had taken all the tables. They'd actually moved them. So no one else could sit outside in the garden, including us. They wanted all of the tables for themselves. They even moved the tables to a different part of the garden at the side of this beautiful cafe that we go to every Saturday. And they took them all the tables, so we couldn't sit outside. So instead, we sat at the worst table imaginable. Can you imagine this situation? You are waiting for your lovely, lovely meal, and then next to you is the toilet door. Right next to you, next to your shoulder, is where people go to the toilet. And the only problem is, between where we were sitting and the toilet, there was just a very thin piece of wall. I think it was actually plasterboard between us and the toilet. So you could hear everything that was going on in the toilet whilst you are trying to eat your food. It wasn't a very nice experience. Normally we like to sit outside, but some selfish people, very selfish, they decide to grab all of the tables. They moved them so they could all have room to sit and enjoy themselves. And no one else could sit outside. And we were a little bit annoyed about that, to be honest. Hello to the live chat. Who was first here today? Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, very interesting. Hello. Today, first on the live chat. Hello to Beatrice. Guess what? You are first on today's live stream. Well done, Beatrice. You are first today. Oh, by the way, on Friday. On Friday, I had to go to the dentist for my usual checkup. A little bit of cleaning, a little bit of polishing on my teeth. But when I arrived at the dentist, I said to the lady who normally does my teeth, I said, please, today, please do not use the ultrasonic scraper. I hate it. I don't know why. It always makes my teeth hurt. And I feel extreme pain when she's doing it. So I said to her, I said, please, can we not use that? Instead, can we use the old-fashioned scrapers? The old hook. I prefer that. I don't know why. But that new ultrasonic thing that they use, it makes a horrible noise as well. I hate the sound of it. But when they press it onto your teeth, it's as if every nerve in your mouth is jumping through the top of your head. It's not a very pleasant experience. So I asked her very nicely, very kindly, if instead of the ultrasonic scaler, I think that's what it's called, could you please use the old-fashioned hooks, pieces of metal that you put between the teeth and you scrape the teeth. So I prefer that. I know it sounds strange, but I do. I prefer it. For some reason, it's not as painful. But I don't think she was very pleased that I asked if she could use the old-fashioned tools. I don't think she was happy about that because I think she wanted to do it quickly. But of course, it takes a little bit longer if you use the old-fashioned scraper. But I don't mind it. I love it. Well, I don't love it. I don't get any sexual pleasure from it. But I do find it more comfortable. That's all I'm saying. Also, today on the live chat, we have Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you here as well. A lot of people are here. Rosa. We also have Claudia. Hello, Claudia. Nice to see you here today. Vittoria is also here. Hamda is here. Oh, can I say congratulations to Mosen? Mosen is now officially an uncle. I remember that many years ago when I became an uncle. Now, of course, I am a great uncle. That's when you really start to feel old, when you become a great uncle. As long as I don't become a granddad, I'll be happy. I'll be happy with that. We also have Inaki. Hello to you. Delvi is here as well. A lot of people already joining us on the live chat today. Nice to see you here on Sunday, of course. August is here. I wonder if there's anything special happening in August. Is there anything special happening in August? Anything? Can you think of anything? I wonder. I wish I could give you 100 likes, says Magdalena. That would be very nice. Imagine that, if you could give 100 likes. If you could actually give as many likes as you want. It's a little bit like, who remembers, what was that website that you could give lots of little hearts? I can't remember what it was called now. I can't remember the name of it. It doesn't exist anymore. Is it Periscope? Who remembers Periscope? Well, on there, if you were doing a live stream, you could actually give little hearts. And then the hearts would be used as a type of credit. And I've always been amazed that YouTube does not do that, where you can give little hearts. And then the hearts will float on the screen. But not only that, those hearts will also go towards points that you can collect. So that's what used to happen on Periscope. Unfortunately, that particular streaming site does not exist anymore. Can I say hello to Monica? Also, Megar, hello to you. I am so glad to hear that you take care of your teeth, Mr. Duncan. I do try my best. My teeth at the moment are the best that they've been in a very long time. I can't remember the last time my teeth were in such good condition. Even the lady, my lovely dental hygienist, said to me, "You are doing much better with your dental care." And I felt quite pleased with that. It was like at school. Do you remember at school when they used to give you a little gold star when you were good? Well, I felt as if my dentist gave me a little gold star the other day because she said she was very pleased with my progress. I have to be honest. I do spend a lot more time these days looking after my teeth because I don't want to lose them, you see. The reason is because I do this. Can you imagine me coming on here trying to do my live stream with no teeth, or maybe some of my teeth missing? Can you imagine that? It wouldn't be very good. It wouldn't be very nice to look at all. Hello to... Oh, Mosen is here. Yes, congratulations, Mosen. Your sister has given birth to a baby. And it's a girl. Congratulations to you. And that happened on the 3rd of August. So every time her birthday comes along, you will always remember me, because you will think, Mr. Duncan. I remember telling Mr. Duncan all about the birth of my niece. Hello, Inaki. Hello also to... Oh, Christina is here as well. Can I just say something very quickly, a little bit of sad news. As we know, there is a lovely woman, a lovely girl, a lovely lady called Sandra Gonzalez. She was normally on here. Sadly, last week, her lovely little dog, Simon, sadly died, and she's a little bit upset. So, Sandra, if you are watching today, don't worry, we are all waiting for you. And we know you must be feeling a little sad at the moment, but we are here whenever you need us to cheer you up. Hello also to, Vittoria, and also Bruno. Hello, Bruno. Nice to see you here today as well. Switzerland. I wonder what the weather is like in Switzerland. I never think about it, you see. And there is no point, there is no moment during my day where I wonder what the weather is like in Switzerland. Isn't it strange? I suppose really I should think about it more often, but I don't. I don't know why. So have you ever been in a situation where you've had to have a meal and maybe you are sitting near the door to the toilet? That's what happened to us yesterday. We could hear everything. We could even hear when the person was using the toilet paper. They were pulling the toilet paper, and you could hear the sound whilst I was enjoying my vegetarian breakfast. What is the name of your niece? Mosen, what is her name? Maybe they haven't named her yet. Maybe they are still trying to choose a name. Some people, before they have their child, quite often they will decide on the name first. So as soon as they know what the gender of the baby is, they will think, shall we think of some nice names for our daughter or son? So quite often people who are about, if they are expecting a new child, a new arrival in their family, quite often they will decide on the name before it is born. But I wonder, yes, I agree with you. I want to know. Even I am feeling nosy. I want to know the name of your new niece. Hello also to Petra. Hello, Petra, who says, I was born in August as well. Petra, but when? When was your birthday? Has it already happened? Or is it still on its way? I wonder. Hello also to, let's just see if I can find, Olga. Olga is here as well. Olga, another one of our regular viewers. It is always nice to see the regular viewers here as well. Thank you very much for your lovely messages concerning Mr. Steve's mother as well, because last week I did show some video of Mr. Steve's mother having a little dance. Did you see it? Did you miss it? Well, that's too bad, because I don't think I'm showing it today. However, we do have some other interesting things to look at. We have some new residents in the garden. Would you like to see one of our new residents? Here we go. I will show this very quickly because Mr. Steve will be coming soon. So here is something I want to show you very quickly. We have a new resident in the garden, and there it is, a little mouse. So I think this is actually a dormouse. This particular mouse is a dormouse. It has giant eyes and large ears. And isn't that lovely? So that is something I filmed the other night. And it was coming outside, eating some of the seeds and the nuts that I left for it. Isn't that lovely? It's a little dormouse. We used to get lots of tiny animals in the garden, but this year we haven't had so many. To be honest, I was rather pleased to see that little mouse saying hello the other night. And there it is, looking very mischievous through the hole in the wall. We will be looking at a little bit more of the nature in this area later on. Also, there's something else I want to talk about today. This is for the ladies. Something for the ladies we are going to talk about when Mr. Steve arrives. What is the definition of being macho or manly these days? Because I have a theory that over the years, the way in which we view masculinity or being manly has changed quite often. I think quite often there are trends that come along and they define what masculinity actually is. I suppose you could say the same thing about femininity, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about masculinity a little bit later on with someone. I'm not sure if I would describe Mr. Steve as masculine, but I think he is. I think he is. We had a lovely day yesterday. We had a beautiful walk into town, and I couldn't resist showing you some of the sights that we saw yesterday. And then after this, and also after we've seen the cows again, Mr. Steve will be here. Don't go away. please pick up your dog muck and take it with you, as it can kill us. Thank you. There he is, Mr. Steve in his poncho, and also cutting the lawn, and also in the rain as well. We could do with some rain at the moment here in the UK because it's so hot. Talking of hot things,
hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, wonderful viewers from around the globe.
Here he is.
I say that every week, of course, because I mean it.
Well, good. I'm very glad.
Well, I was in a concert last night, Mr. Duncan.
So first of all, this is Mr. Steve, by the way. For those who don't know who this person is, you are very lucky.
Who doesn't know who I am, Mr. Duncan?
But now,
you're joking.
Now, sadly, your life will go downhill from this point because now you know Mr. Steve. Steve did Steve did something very silly yesterday, didn't you?
I've done it before and I've done it again.
Steve does silly things.
I drive a long way to a choir concert that we had last night. And we all had a lovely time. It took me half an hour, 40 minutes to drive there.
40 minutes to drive there.
It was very nice because they provided food for us afterwards, which is unusual.
Okay.
A lovely spread of food. We were talking, wasn't it lovely? Yes, weren't we wonderful? Etc., etc. So I go out the door, chatting with everybody, drive home, get halfway home and realise I haven't got my phone.
So halfway home, Steve realises that he does not have his bag with all of his music inside.
That wasn't so important, but I'd left.
And his mobile phone was in the bag as well.
But you see, I'd kept my car keys on me because I never like to leave them in case they get stolen. So
The story gets better because today Steve had to go all the way to Wolverhampton to get his bag and his very, very important mobile phone.
Hour and 20 minutes round trip. Cost me £10 in fuel.
Yeah, but that's your fault.
I know it's my fault, yes.
Don't
but
complain.
I probably could have waited till tomorrow to go and pick it up because we've got choir practice tomorrow, but I didn't want to risk it in case it went missing.
Yeah.
So there I go, into this church. They're all in their finery.
See, I know what happens. I know what you do. You get lost in the moment because Steve
Yes.
loves being in a crowd of people. It's a bit like your mum. Your mum is the same. Steve's mother loves to have lots of people around her and lots of attention. And Steve is very similar. He loves being in a crowd of people, socialising.
I just like socialising.
And I know what happened last night. You got so involved in the moment, you actually forgot to take your bag with you.
I left the bag in the other room because if you're eating, you don't want a bag around you.
No.
I thought, well, I must pick that bag up afterwards, but I didn't. We all
No.
went out of the door laughing, happy, on a high.
Yes.
And I just drove home, which is unusual because I usually use the phone as my sat-nav.
Yes, that's the strange part.
That's the strange part. Anyway, there you go. It happened.
Yes.
I got it back. End of story. But have you ever done things like that where you have been so into the moment that you've forgotten something like a bag, a phone or something and then gone all the way home?
Yes.
I did actually go back.
Do you remember the time David Cameron went for a meal and he forgot his daughter?
Yes, that was funny.
How do you do that, by the way? How do you actually forget one of your own children? He went for a meal and he forgot. He had his daughter with him. And he walked out, went home and thought, I'm sure there's something missing. I'm missing something. He certainly was missing something.
Interesting. Rosa says the words fool and silly have the same meaning.
Well,
Not quite.
you can do something silly, something that makes no sense, or maybe something that might make a person appear like a fool. So that is describing the person, how they appear. You appear as a fool. You do something foolish, which is, of course, describing the actual situation. So to do something silly is to do something foolish.
They are similar, but it's normally silly. Foolish is you do something like, for example, I left my mobile phone in the venue and I drove home. That's a bit foolish. You're
Yeah.
a bit of a fool if you do that.
It's silly as well.
But if it's silly, then it's normally something that people would laugh at, isn't it? If you do something silly, probably people would go, they'd probably laugh. They didn't laugh at this.
No, I didn't.
If you do something I'm not really foolish, just forgetful. You can use them interchangeably, but normally I would think if something's silly, it makes people laugh. You do something silly or foolish that makes people laugh, or stupid.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that the word fool is not the same as silly, because fool is the noun. You're using it as the noun. So you are
Yes.
foolish. A person who does something silly is doing something foolish.
Normally, if you call somebody a fool, it's a bit of an insult.
Well,
Because
yes,
you're suggesting that they're of low intelligence.
Well, no, you could just say that they've done something that is a bit silly, a bit stupid. No, the fool is the noun. I'm talking about the grammar. The grammar
I know, but
in this sense. So a fool, I'm such a fool. Oh, I left my bag at the concert last night. So you can feel like a fool. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're thick or stupid. It can just mean to do something that is silly. I'm glad we've cleared that up.
And Lewis asks after my mother. Thank you, Lewis, and hello. No, she's not doing too well at the moment, unfortunately.
She's missing us. That's what it is. I think your mother is pining for us. I think that's what it is. And I can't blame her. I can't blame anyone pining. wanting more of this? Is anything special happening next week? Because next week it's going to get hot. Next week. Very hot. Not as hot as it did a couple of weeks ago when it was in the 40s. But I think it will be around 34 or 35 degrees next week, Mr. Steve. So it looks as if the weather is going to get hot, hot, hot again.
Christina mentions that same thing happened to her up in the mountains.
Oh.
I left my backpack at the top of the mountain. You see, that's it. You took it off to see the view. You're talking, you're all on a high because you've done something good. You probably have something to eat, and then you just walk off.
Yes.
I've done it with watches. I left a watch. We went on holiday to France when I was younger, when I was in my sort of early teens probably. And Dad drove us to France across the ferry to Calais, and we were driving. It was it was a horrible holiday. We just spent all the holiday driving from one town to the other. It was very boring.
Is this in real time?
No. And we stopped somewhere to have a picnic. I took my watch off. I don't know why. And then we were driving along for about another 20 miles. And I went, oh, where's my watch? Dad was very angry. We drove back. It had gone.
Yes, of course.
Somebody found a lovely watch.
I reckon a seagull must have seen it.
Probably.
So somewhere there is a seagull flying around with
We've all done it.
With a lovely wristwatch. That Steve, didn't you once lose your shorts as well? You went swimming. I can't remember where it was. I think it was Madeira. It was somewhere like that, or was it somewhere in England? I'm not sure. But Steve lost a pair of shorts. He did have something on. He wasn't going around naked, but he did lose his shorts. So Steve does often lose things or forget things, but I do as well.
Yeah,
so it's not just about Mr. Steve. It is about me. I often lose gloves, umbrellas.
Umbrellas, gloves. That's one, yeah. Because you take gloves off when you go into a bus or something like that. You take them off because it's hot, and then you just leave.
That's
umbrellas, you leave them because you don't need them.
No,
after the event.
And I think it's because they're not part of your attire or your clothing all the time. So if you always had an umbrella in your hand, you would probably notice that it wasn't there. But because you only use an umbrella occasionally, then I think it's much easier to lose it.
You go out and it's raining, you use your umbrella, you go somewhere to the destination, then when you leave it's not raining anymore, so you don't think I need that umbrella.
That's it.
Magdalena, hello Magdalena, says, I once went to the ATM to draw out some money and left it in there.
Oh.
Because you were in time pressure. Now that's often a reason for making mistakes and leaving and forgetting things.
Yeah.
I've done that. Lots of people, I think, a few people have said that they do that.
Yes.
I've done it. In fact, we locally, I drew some money out, went back to the car, about to drive off, and then somebody tapped on the car and said, "You've left your money there."
Honest.
£50.
Honest people.
It usually beeps at you, doesn't it? But if you're distracted or you're in a rush,
I think
then
nowadays,
you can forget these
nowadays
things.
they do it. It makes a beep, beep, beep. So you can't walk off without the cash.
Well, you can, because that's the problem. If you're distracted, you can take your card out, the cash, but you can just walk off because you're thinking about something else. You're in a rush.
Yeah.
That
sounds like you, by the way. That's very much Mr. Steve.
I think we all do it.
Today we have a lot of subjects to talk about. We've got so much to get through this week. We are talking about what is the definition of being macho or manly. Now the reason why I mention this, Steve, is because I have a theory, and I have been looking at photographs. Don't you dare say anything out there. I know what you're thinking. I've been looking at images of what masculinity is, taken over the years, going back 100 years. Wow. And I've noticed that masculinity, or the ideal of the image of masculinity, has changed. It has changed over the years. And that's because I think as young people come along, their concepts are often different to the generation that is now fading away. And I think that often happens. But what is it nowadays? Because I think there are many film stars or many models, male models, who don't look, to me, what you would imagine a person who is manly or macho, or what they would actually be. And I think that's because it's changing. It always does. I think it always has. You look at Victorian photographs of men, and you wouldn't say that they look manly. However, there are things that they wear, clothing, and also, of course, the big one, Steve. You know what I'm going to say.
Facial hair?
Facial hair. How it goes and then comes back. And lots of men during the Victorian era, if you ever look at photographs of men, they will always have the biggest, the largest moustache you've ever seen. They're
In the
huge.
UK, that was very popular.
They're like this. They almost go out.
Handlebar moustaches.
They look like propellers off an aeroplane.
Yes, that projected a kind of masculinity. And you're right. I think a lot of film stars now. I mean, when you go back to the 1970s, typical sort of macho guy would have been, well, in the 60s, 50s and 60s, it would have been somebody like John Wayne,
Yes.
wouldn't it? In those kinds of films.
Yes, or the ones I often think of are people like Cary Grant. It's hard to actually appreciate what a big star Cary Grant was. He was huge, a massive, massive star. But
Christina said that.
maybe to some people, his characteristic. I always thought his characteristic was not manly. He was quite soft.
I wouldn't say he was manly.
No, but that's the strange thing.
Yeah.
However, the other day I was watching a clip from a Alfred Hitchcock movie. I can't say Alfred Hitchcock for some reason. I don't know why. But I was watching a clip from one of his most famous movies, North by Northwest. Or is it North by Northeast?
Is that the one where he's being chased by an aeroplane?
It is the most famous clip in movie history where Cary Grant is being chased by an aeroplane. And it's a great scene. Absolutely, probably one of the best photographed clips from a movie ever. Do you know who was flying the plane?
Alfred Hitchcock?
No. It's a great one. By the way, this is a great trivia question. Because everyone knows Cary Grant was being chased by the aeroplane. But who was flying the aeroplane?
His wife?
No. It was actually the actor Martin Landau.
Interesting.
Martin Landau was the bad guy who was trying to get...
In Space 1999
Yes.
and various other things.
That's it.
You've got to be a certain age to know who these actors are.
Well, he actually got an Oscar. Martin Landau won an Oscar for his portrayal of Bela Lugosi in the famous Johnny Depp movie about the... What was his name? What was it? I can't remember his name. I can remember names and then I can't remember names. You know which one I mean. He used to make terrible movies.
Vittoria says Bruce Willis.
Ed Wood.
Of course.
Ed Wood. That's who it is.
Okay. Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, of course. Not very well at the moment. So he was sort of the 90s.
The 90s.
The 90s tough guy.
Macho tough guy.
But when you look at the movies now, you don't actually think, he's a bit podgy.
Well, now, yes.
No, then, in Die Hard. Sorry, am I having a conversation with someone else? In Die Hard, Steve, in the 1990s.
He was just sort of muscular, wasn't he?
He was balding.
Sturdy.
But he was going bald.
Yeah, but we're on about the image, aren't we? The image of masculinity.
That's it. But it's interesting. But now, hunks, masculine men have to have a full head of hair. They have to. There are not many famous movie stars now, Steve, male movie stars, that are bald. Trust me. If you can name one, and I know you can't, they all have a thick head of hair.
That's us out then.
So nowadays, I think manliness nowadays is not necessarily about having your body to be more all muscular. I think it's also hair. So a head of hair is now seen as something that defines masculinity. It's very strange.
It does in films, but if you look at people in everyday life, if you've got a shaved head now, that makes you sort of like a tough guy, a baddie.
Yeah.
I think that can make you, your favourite Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood,
Says Christina.
there is a film that I want to see with Clint Eastwood, one of his recent films. He's still making movies in his 90s. I just think that's amazing. The Mule, it's called, Steve. Apparently it's an amazing movie, and Clint Eastwood, I think he directs the movie, but also he's in it as well, and he's in his 90s. And I think that's amazing. I love Clint Eastwood very much. I love his movies. But yes, he is kind of what you would think. Maybe the 1970s.
Yes.
Yeah, action heroes. Charles Bronson.
He was another one.
Another one. Very macho, very masculine. Also, once again, lots of hair. And
Christina, of course, says Humphrey Bogart.
Yes.
Of course, he was a tough guy. Wasn't he? From in the 1950s, I would say, 60s, maybe 40s probably as well. But what's that famous film with him?
Casablanca.
Casablanca, yes.
But what I find interesting is I don't think now he would be able to get away with it as being that sort of screen presence. I think people want something younger now with more hair.
Well, that's the thing. Back in the 40s and 50s and even the 60s, the men were always older and their women were a lot younger, weren't they?
Yeah.
There was that. You had to have a sort of the men were very much sort of in their 30s and 40s, and the women that they were dating were probably in their 20s.
Yeah, I think we've moved on a bit from that.
Which we've often wondered about that, and I think it was probably just film directors trying to put an image across for middle-aged men so that they could all get the nice young girls.
Yes. But even the women loved those men. Robert Mitchum is another one.
Robert Mitchum, yes.
His face is like it's been carved out of granite. It's amazing.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
in the Gladiator.
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's a bit fat now.
Now, yes.
Russell Crowe. There is almost like two people. Now.
Macho men in films are usually, aren't they? They're usually.
I think we've lost my trail though now, Steve. A bit. I'm on about what masculinity is generally nowadays, and I don't think masculinity now is necessarily what we would imagine it to be 20 years ago. I think now there is a softness that's returned to masculinity.
Well, I think women don't want men now who are going to potentially beat them up. Because these macho men in the films, weren't they, from the 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, they were quite violent, men, and they didn't really treat their ladies particularly well. Whereas now, of course, we've moved into this, what's the phrase, metrosexual man?
Well, it's beyond that.
Where the man is now...
We don't use that phrase anymore.
The sexes are sort of merging a bit, aren't they?
Yes. Well, it's shades. I always think of the spectrum now. Gender and, I suppose, femininity and masculinity used to be very defined. But now it's almost become a spectrum, which I think is quite interesting. I know some people think it's an awful idea or concept, but other people are really embracing it in various ways. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest, because I think there are certain people who are trying to take advantage of that situation. But I think these days there is more of a spectrum. When we look at masculinity and femininity, there is much more of a spectrum. So imagine it like, I want to say a rainbow, but you know what I mean, a spectrum of gender and masculinity and femininity.
Gender fluidity. It's
yes.
sort of,
Yes, well, that means something different, though. That
yeah,
means,
but I mean, yeah. But we've now got, of course, women's sports are being promoted a lot more. Women's
Yes.
football, and that's traditionally a masculine game. So there you can see that women are exerting their sort of not masculinity is the wrong word, but their sort of physicality.
yes.
So it's sort of a lot of women are going one way and men are going the other, and they're merging somewhere in the middle. I can think of pictures of my father when he was younger.
Was your father a lady?
No,
Oh, I see. I wonder what you're going to say then.
but men in those days, the phrase is men were men and women were women.
Yes, okay.
Women were just back when I was growing up, their place was in the home.
Yes, but
and the men went out to work. They were doing coal mining and manual
Yes.
work, and there were these defined roles, weren't there, for the genders?
That's it.
But now there isn't, and I think because of that, that you don't get these stereotypically macho men, but you do meet them. You do meet some men who you think, oh my God, might beat me up.
Yes, I'm not saying they don't exist, but that's the thing. I'm not saying they don't exist.
No.
There are tough guys, tough men, but I think there is more of a spectrum now than there used to be. That's the point I'm trying to make. You could be a soft man who might not be tough, and maybe years ago people would assume things about them. But nowadays, of course, I think there is more of a spectrum of that what is expected of a man or what is expected of a woman. I think it's an interesting subject. But of course, there are a lot of people who've hijacked this particular subject and tried to turn it into something else.
Of course, I think we're the epitome of masculinity.
Well,
don't you think so, viewers?
Well, I don't think we're feminine by any means. In fact, a lot of people don't think anything of you, do they? They don't think they think you are manly, or they think you are, for want of a better word, heterosexual.
Yes, well,
you have, but people have said this to you.
They have, but they would never describe me as manly.
No.
I've never been, I'm not a sort of. The other phrase that, as my father used to use when we were growing up, he's a man's man.
Okay.
A man's man.
Well, that's you.
It's got a different meaning these days.
If there was anyone who was a man's man, it's Mr. Steve.
A man's man. That used to denote somebody who was pure heterosexual. He only liked the company of other men, would play football and rugby and talk about sports all day and, all that sort of thing. A man's man.
Yeah.
Somebody you could go down the pub with and have a drink.
Okay, Steve.
Talk about the birds and all that, And I don't mean, somebody who was not in any stretch of the imagination would be pure heterosexual, tough guy man, talking about manly things. Man's man.
Okay, Steve. All right.
Well, I wonder if anyone's heard that expression.
I think you've got it across now.
I used to hear my father saying that. Oh, he's a man's man.
Oh, the strange thing is, your father was in the Navy, and the village people wrote a song all about that.
I know, but
there you go. So, shall we have a look at the live chat? Fernando says masculinity nowadays is related to equality with women. I think so. Yes, I think the playing field. We often talk about, very interesting phrase, Steve, a level playing field. So where things are seen as equal. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of these things that we're seeing now probably should have happened maybe 20 years ago, but they're happening now. But it's all happening suddenly. And I think there are a lot of people, older generations, Steve, not us, because we're not old, but older generations who are still not ready for it.
No.
They're not ready for it.
No, they want the certainty of seeing a man doing one role, a woman doing another. And I think you're right, Mr. Duncan, because of equality. What that's and laws, that there are actual laws to do with equality in many countries of the world, certainly in this country. And so whereas before men would do certain jobs and women would do certain jobs, that's because of equality. That's now. Men can do jobs that women do. There are lots of men are nurses, we've discussed this before, lots of women do what would be considered manly jobs, maybe in construction and things like that, or
Yes.
post person,
Yes.
things that would normally be. I don't necessarily think women are going down the mines.
Well, no one
There
is now.
might be.
No one's going down the mines.
I've seen a bit of that going on. But because of that, we're able to, instead of being forced into stereotypes, you've got to behave this way because that's what society says you've got to do to be accepted. You can now, men can express their feminine side, which was always there. It was always there. It was just suppressed because of the pressure of society. And women can express their masculinity, which was always there, but they weren't able to do it because they'd have been frowned upon by society. A woman working on a building site,
Yes.
you wouldn't be allowed to do it.
So this is interesting, Steve. You can see now I've got the caption on the screen, and there, that is actually Tarzan,
Yeah, so
as depicted in the 1920 movie, The Revenge of Tarzan. Now, what I find interesting about this is, I don't think I don't think this is particularly manly, but maybe back then it was. It looks almost slightly comical to me. It looks almost amusing. It looks
Yes.
almost as if someone is making fun of that particular type of movie. But in fact, that was seriously done. That's how a man looked.
Well, the ludicrous thing about that, when you look at it now, it's obviously just an American man with a sort of a leopard skin on. Whereas if it was, Tarzan was supposed to have been abandoned by his parents and grew up in the wild, and he just had long, straggly hair and a beard, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Which wouldn't be cutting his hair and shaving.
Yes.
So that's what makes that look ludicrous.
Yes. So what is macho? The definition of what is manly. Things can be manly, sport, jobs, the appearance. Of course, men, as we found out last week, we went to a wedding last week, and lots of the young men had beards.
That's the fashion now.
It's back. So everyone, they all had, and it looked, what was funny, Steve, they all had literally the identical beard.
Yes.
Exactly the same. It looked as if they were all wearing fake beards, but they were identical. And I thought that was really funny.
Yes, it's all about a week's amount of stubble, isn't it? It's not a proper beard. It's sort of more like a week's growth of stubble, or maybe a bit more, maybe 2 weeks.
Well, I think what men do now, they groom. They groom
Oh, they do, yes.
their beards much more. So men now spend, I think, as much time as women in the bathroom in the morning, making themselves look lovely. They trim their beard.
Well,
They make sure everything is lovely. They make sure their eyebrows are not too long. They get the hair out of their ears. They make themselves look lovely.
see, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that the fashion for men having beards has lasted as long as it has, because it's lasted a number of years now. Because, I've grown a beard in the past. It's much more maintenance than just having a shave. Having a shave every morning takes 3 minutes.
Yes.
But if you've got a beard, you've got to constantly be trimming it, and, it's a pain in the neck.
It is a lot of work. Have you seen that advert, by the way?
And they're itchy and, oof.
Have you seen that advert? There is a commercial on YouTube for a device that can now cut the hair down there. Have you seen it?
Well, yeah, I saw it last night. But
You can trim. It's a special device designed for men so they can shave everything down there. It's just everything now.
Well, you can use anything for that, can't you? I think this is it to men's grooming now. With women in the bedroom, they don't want, they want things nicely trimmed.
Yes, they want the hair to be nice and well, they want everything to be smooth.
And who wouldn't?
Well,
But some men, but that's the thing. Have you ever kissed a man with a beard, Mr. Duncan? You don't have to answer that.
I once kissed Santa Claus. Santa Claus gave me gave me a kiss once, I just regret the fact that he used his tongue as well. That's another story.
Yes, I mean, it can't be very. I'm saying it can't be very nice. Or I don't know. Maybe you women, do you like kissing a man with a beard?
Yes, well,
do you?
Your mum does.
No, well, she likes the look of it. What do you mean my mum does?
Well, your mum likes beards.
She likes beards, but I don't think she never liked it when my father had a beard.
Oh, I see.
Because, do you want to get near that massive hair? I mean, some people, maybe that's a turn on. I don't know.
Some women want a hairy man. They want to run their fingers through his chest hair.
Exactly, yes.
That sort of thing,
Whereas
you see.
other women want smooth.
Yes, you see.
Or other men want that,
Yes. But I thought it was an interesting subject as when we watch TV, movies, maybe see advertisements, the role of the man has certainly changed over the past 10 years. So the man quite often takes a more passive role, and the woman might be a little bit more dominant,
assertive
in the relationship. So I find those things interesting, you see.
Yes, yes. I mean, my mother often says that she grew up in the sort of 30s and 40s, and she said then that women's roles were very, very defined in those days, and it was basically you just got married and had babies. That was it, and there was no chance for a woman, for example, very little chance for a woman to go to university.
Yeah.
I mean, when my mother grew up, she tells me the story of my grandmother, who was very clever woman, and could have gone to university, but she didn't go. Her father wouldn't let her go. He said, no, your brother can go, but you can't go.
Yeah.
You've got to get married and have children.
But again, that's a different time.
Well, that's
and
it, yes.
a different attitude. It's very interesting. So I find these things really fascinating.
Ooh.
And of course, these days, having a child, if you want to have a child, then I know I'm on thin ice here, Steve. Then that would be the woman's role. Don't say anything, please. Just hold your thoughts, everyone out there. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm putting my head above the parapet, and all the bullets will be flying by in a moment. But I think, yes, generally speaking, the woman's role now, if you think about having a child or starting a family, the woman will be involved.
Of course, certainly in this country and in a lot of Western countries now, women are working, going out to work. See, when I grew up, my mother didn't work until we were able to look after ourselves.
Yes.
Whereas now women are going to work. So the roles have to be shared, particularly if you're having children. Then if you're both working, then you have to share that role. And I know that, men at work that I know who've got children, they take the children to school. They do all sorts of things with the children. When I grew up, my father did virtually nothing. Mum did everything. She fed us, got us up in the morning, did everything. Whereas now, I don't think in a sort of modern relationship, I think the woman would walk out now if the man didn't do anything.
Yes. Well, you can have house husbands.
Yes.
So the husband is actually at home and the wife is going to work. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of those things. I think these are things that have been coming over the past 20 years since the start of the new millennium. I think many things have changed anyway, generally speaking, in society. And I always think it's a fascinating thing. However, there are those who always want to create division in these situations, when in fact, from my point of view, Steve, it's always happened. It's always been the case, hasn't it? It's always happened at some point with roles of men and women, or maybe the way gender or sexuality is viewed. It's always been changing. It's always been altering in some way.
Particularly since the 60s.
Yes, the liberation.
Well, Magdalena says that she likes a bald man with a beard.
Oh, okay then.
Which is a popular look now.
So we're halfway there.
It's a very popular look. Lots of people at work, men who are bald, grow beards. But I personally don't like the look. But I think, in fact, I've noticed, Mr. Duncan, that if you're a bald man with a beard at work now, you get promoted.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, that look gets you to be promoted.
Interesting.
Because all the people with bald heads and beards, all the men, I haven't seen many women with bald heads and beards, they're all getting promoted into the top jobs. And I think it's because of the look.
Yeah.
So,
Very interesting.
Yes.
We'll move on to another subject because we have a little bit of English to look at, some phrases connected to asking a person to stop doing something. Maybe something that is annoying, maybe something that makes you feel slightly angry, perhaps? That sort of thing.
Can I just say something quickly?
Oh, okay, Steve.
Beatrice makes a very good point. The most important thing is who we are inside.
Yes.
And that's what modern society is allowing us to become, who we actually are.
Yes.
And instead of having to fit into a stereotype imposed upon us by society.
Yes.
We are now free to express ourselves. And that's why I think probably nothing's really changed. It's just that we can now express ourselves. We were always these people, but we weren't able to express that because of the constraints of society.
Yes. Yeah. And of course, I suppose modern technology, social media allows us to express these feelings more openly, whereas in the past you couldn't because you didn't have the ability to do it. There was no Facebook, no Twitter, no social media at all. So everyone had to keep all of those things to themselves.
Yes.
Anyway, Steve, we've got to move on. I want to have a little break. We've got some nature to show. Now we've got a little mouse in the garden living nearby at the moment. He's actually out there right now, sniffling around. And I thought it would be nice to have a look at a video that I made a few years ago at the same place, but instead we have a variety of animals coming along to feed. And then after this, we are back with Mr. Steve and myself. Don't go away. Welcome to Sunday afternoon, live on YouTube. Looking at some lovely nature there. The squirrels, the shrews, the mice and the magpies. Dip, 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 dip.
That was a very masculine-looking squirrel, Mr. Duncan.
That squirrel was looking pretty mean.
Yes, you wouldn't want to cross swords with that. If you cross swords with somebody, it means you fall out.
Yes.
You have an argument.
You fight.
You fight.
You have a violent confrontation. You cross swords. You get angry with each other, and then start shouting and screaming like we do sometimes.
Yesterday?
I was out walking the other day, Steve, and I filmed something that made me smile. Would you like to see it?
Go on.
Here is something that made me smile the other day. I was walking along and I saw this sign, and I had a strange flashback of my memory. Look at this, Steve. So this is actually on the field, the main field in Much Wenlock.
Interesting.
And it says, "Attention. Please."
I think we've seen it.
No metal detecting. No metal detecting. Can I just say, I can't remember.
I've never seen.
I can't remember the last time I saw anyone with a metal detector. So I wonder, this is my theory, Steve. I think maybe, perhaps underneath the field in Much Wenlock, maybe there is lots of buried treasure. And people now are starting to look for it. But I can't remember the last time I saw anyone do any metal detecting.
I've never seen anyone do it, and ever in the 8 years we've been here.
Huh.
And I don't know what the problem would be anyway.
It used to be very popular, though. I remember growing up in the 70s and early 80s, and everyone had one of those little devices that you were looking for something under the ground made of metal, hopefully buried treasure. But I don't see people doing this anymore, ever.
I think they still do it on beaches.
Yes.
But maybe people are digging up the field here, this Gaskell, the common ground where people walk their dogs and things like that. Maybe there's a problem with people digging up the ground.
Yes.
But can't say I've ever seen anybody do it. It's sort of hallowed ground, isn't it? The Gaskell field in Much Wenlock.
Well, what I'm saying is then that they must think that there's something buried under there, because you only go metal detecting, you only use one of these things if you think there is something buried underneath the ground. Now, over the years, there have been many stories, not very far away from here, where people have done this and they've found priceless objects.
Yes.
Priceless objects in Staffordshire.
Ancient artefacts.
Yeah. And some of these things are so valuable that they're virtually priceless. But the strange thing is, and this is something that you're going to know all about, Steve, if you go onto someone's property and you find something under the ground that's valuable, who does it belong to?
Well, I said yes. I think by decree or by law, I think all the area of the certainly of England is actually, in theory, owned by the Queen. Am I not right there? So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I think
she does actually own it all. I think she has rights, certain rights, but in practice, of course, that wouldn't happen. I think what's happened, like as you say in Staffordshire, I think they've had to sort of give it up, give the treasure up, or they might have got some kind of reward. But if you find, I think if you find it on your own ground, probably okay. But if if you're going into a farmer's field, I think that I don't know. Yeah, that you'd have to probably go through the courts.
Well, that's where most of these things are found, on farmers' fields. But I just find that whole thing fascinating. But you don't see many people doing it. And as Steve said, one of the places where you still see people doing this with their little beep, 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 beep metal detector is probably on the beach. But I'm fascinated to find out that there are people here in Much Wenlock doing it.
They probably think that there's something on that Gaskell field. It's like sort of, as I said, hallowed ground.
Well, it used to be known as Windmill Field.
Right.
And in the early days of the Olympics, when the Olympic Games were held here, in the early days, that the hill where the windmill is was actually made into a amphitheatre where people would just sit and view all of the games, the Olympic Games. The very early Olympic Games were going back to the 1800s, so a long time ago. Well, I think the windmill was still working then. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked for a long time. But I think maybe there's some connection there, you see, from the past. So
Yes.
I'm almost thinking that we should get a metal detector and see we might find some buried treasure.
We might do. I tell you what, I'm more interested in what the other sign is saying about the dog control order.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not supposed to take your dogs onto that ground and just let them roam free. But then they let it happen. Maybe they're reversing that decision.
Yes.
But anyway, yes, dogs. People walking dogs is a problem.
Have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried metal detecting? Has anyone ever done it? We used to be able to buy metal detectors. They were quite cheap at one time, and also you can build your own.
I did make one when I was younger.
Really?
Yes, I used to. I used to be into electronics.
So you built your own metal detector?
I did.
Did you
Yes.
ever find anything?
No, I got bored with it in the end. I did build like a small one, not like a big one.
Oh.
They're not difficult to make. You can buy the parts and make them. But I used to be into electronics. Used to have a magazine called Everyday Electronics.
Okay.
And it would have you could go to these shops and buy all the resistors and capacitors and all that, and then get the soldering iron out and make your own sort of kits.
Talking of which, did you know that most of the capacitors in the world are made in Taiwan?
Really?
Isn't that amazing? I think it's something ridiculous, a ridiculous amount of internal, I think it's diodes and capacitors that are in all of our mobile phones and electronics. They're all made in Taiwan. So please, we don't want any silly business.
No.
If China is watching, because we love our electronics.
Well, that's why countries like America now are putting lots of resources into developing their own factories again to make their own microchips.
Oh, I see.
Because we've all realised, haven't we, recently, the pandemic and then now the war that's broken out, that...
well, no, not yet. There's no war yet.
Well, I mean in Ukraine.
Oh, I see.
That, yeah.
No, if anyone has just dropped their cup on the floor, or their dinner, or they're driving, no.
People know what I meant.
I don't think they did.
A lot of people are saying that
Can I just say there is no war?
Not a world war. I didn't say
no,
world
not China
war.
in Taiwan. There's no war. Okay.
Well,
Just
not
want to
yet.
make sure that's clear.
Yes, this globalization, isn't it, has been a big force in sort of world economics for a number of decades now. But of course, people have realised it's made everything very vulnerable, all the supply chains.
Yeah, well, everything.
When you've got certain countries just doing certain things.
Yes, that's it. Well, everything's so precarious.
So they're now thinking that everything's going to de-globalise and it's going to go back to us all making a lot more at home.
Anyway.
But that will put prices up.
Yeah, anyway, Steve, moving on, because that's depressing me a bit.
Well, it's just an observation.
It's really,
People are commenting on
really,
that.
really depressing. Today we're looking at telling people
Depressing?
to stop doing something. Mr. Steve, just stop it.
You're always telling me to stop doing things.
There is a good example. No. Yesterday we had a meal, by the way. We couldn't sit outside because some selfish people had taken all the tables for themselves.
Yes.
They moved all the tables away, and they didn't even need them all. They were just being very selfish, and they took all the tables, and we couldn't sit outside. So instead we had to sit by the toilet door, and we could hear everything that was going on inside the toilet.
Put me right off my...
We could hear people
meal.
hear a bit of that going on, and the occasional splash of water. And it's very It's very disconcerting.
You don't have to be rude, Mr. Duncan.
I'm not being rude. It's just nature. But I don't want it so close to me when I'm eating.
Oh, look.
Oh, look what.
Petra says there was one of the Napoleonic Wars near where Petra used to live. And there was a big... I've tried to suppress a sneeze.
That's a strange thing to find. That's a strange thing to find underground.
A sneeze.
A sneeze.
There was a very big field where the war was, and Petra said she found something from a Napoleonic soldier.
Oh, I see. What was it?
Well, Petra's wording is interesting
Okay.
and slightly... Petra says, I found a knob from the Napoleon soldier.
You found a soldier's knob.
Yes, that's got another meaning.
Well,
Maybe you mean like a button or something like that.
Those swords can be quite sharp.
So well done to you, Petra. Did you get any money for it? Did you get any money for it?
Yeah.
Did you sell it? Did you give it to a museum? What happened? Yes, normally sort of fleshy objects don't preserve very well.
No.
But maybe.
Well, it might have been a peat bog.
Yeah, it could have been. Yes. Yeah. So yes, just in. Yeah, I would suggest change the phrasing there slightly.
I think it was a button.
I think it was a button.
Maybe a button.
Please give us some more information.
Oh, yes.
Petra.
Yes, it was. A button.
Oh, good. Yes, a button. Yes.
Not a knob.
Yes. Don't say
I'm
that.
not sure if metal detectors are able to...
But well done. What happened to it? Did you get any money for it? Did you sell it? Did you give it to a museum? Petra, please tell us.
Are you now living on your own island?
Yes.
Did you sell the button and make lots of money, and now you're filthy rich?
It was probably made of brass or something like
Lovely.
that.
Well, sometimes it's not the metal it's made of, but also quite often the value of the fact that it's from a long, long time ago. So
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That a soldier died on that field, and you found part of the uniform of that soldier.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wonder what the story was there.
today's subject, Mr. Steve, today's subject is something we are talking about. We are talking about expressing the desire for someone to stop doing something. Please stop it. Please. There are many ways of expressing yourself when you want someone to stop doing something. Maybe something that is...
Annoying?
Yes, something annoying. Maybe something that is...
Annoying?
Okay. Distracting.
Right.
Maybe something that is distracting you. You are trying to keep your attention and something is distracting you. You want that thing to actually stop. Or something that is hurting you. something that's causing pain. Something that's causing pain or discomfort. You want it to stop. Please, get off me. Get off me. You're too heavy. You're too heavy. That's all I'm saying.
So words and phrases to do with asking people to stop doing something that's bothering you, annoying you, upsetting you. Okay. That's interesting.
So basically, we are talking about asking someone to stop, to cease, to end, or to finish, to bring something to an end. So you are asking that person to stop what they are doing. You want it to stop. You want to bring that thing to an end. You can, I suppose, it would be fair to say, Steve, you can stop by choice. You can choose to stop doing something or stop by force. You stop yourself, you make yourself stop, or another person will stop you. They stop you by force. That is to finish something naturally or to be forced to stop doing it. To force an annoying thing to stop. The thing in question is causing a disturbance. I'm sure we've all been in a situation, Steve, would you say?
Yeah. When what? When something
Oh.
is causing a disturbance?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Maybe-
know what you want me to say, Mr. Duncan.
Maybe you're trying to sleep at night. And
Oh, right, yes.
And maybe your neighbour is playing music very loud.
Or has an animal.
Yes, or has an animal that's noisy at night. Or maybe they have a noisy car or motorbike and they come back very late at night or early in the morning and it always wakes you up. You wish that thing would stop. You really do. Please. So this is something you could say. You could ask somebody politely, couldn't you?
Yes.
Please don't do that anymore.
Or please don't let your dog bark
Please don't.
throughout the day.
Can you please not be so noisy when you come home late at night?
Please don't light fires every day and pollute our atmosphere.
Please don't stare into my bathroom window when I'm taking a shower.
See, that's a very touchy subject, isn't it? Dealing with neighbours that annoy you.
That can be very difficult.
That can be a very difficult thing to resolve.
I would imagine that there are many situations where that would happen, where you want someone to stop doing something. You don't want that thing, or you want that thing to stop, or you don't want it to happen again. Here's another one. You might say this, Steve. Cut it out. Cut it out.
So you're doing something to annoy somebody. Maybe you keep poking them. Or maybe you keep...
I keep doing this.
You keep, cut it out. And it's a sort of a fairly aggressive way of trying to get somebody to stop doing something that annoys you. Maybe you're watching television and they're constantly commenting on what's going on.
There's nothing worse than
Or
that.
they keep singing along to songs and things like that, and it just annoys you, and you just say, oh, for goodness sake, cut it out.
You talking about me?
For goodness sake is often a phrase, or for God's sake, which is the same thing.
There is nothing worse than watching a TV show or a movie and the person next to you keeps asking questions. Who is that guy? Well, who's that? Well, I thought he was the bad guy. Well, who's this? Who's this person? Well, who's that? I don't know. Well, is she his sister? I don't know what's happening anymore in this movie. And you go, oh, please, just cut it out.
Maybe somebody is snoring in bed. Your partner, says Valentin. Valentin Goglev is suggesting that maybe their partner or somebody they know is snoring, and it can be devastating. That can lead to you having consistently bad night's sleep because your partner is snoring. In fact, what a lot of couples do is that they end up sleeping in separate rooms to escape the snoring, because if you don't get your proper sleep, then you're going to feel tired the next day. And if you keep doing that night after night, month after month, you will become probably physically and mentally ill.
Yes.
As a result of that deprived sleep.
Yeah.
Through your partner snoring. And that's very... So, yeah.
And some things are...
Cut it out.
Some things are not as easy to stop.
But could you say that? Would that be an appropriate phrase? No.
Probably not.
In the middle of the night?
I think there might be some more that are more suitable coming up. I must kick the habit. So this is another interesting use of words. So in this particular sentence, to kick is to force oneself to stop doing something. You kick the habit. So you are stopping your own bad behaviour. Maybe something that you're doing that you wish you didn't do. You must kick the habit. So in this sense, kick is to push away. You want that thing to go. You have to kick the habit you need to stop doing it.
You're getting hold of that habit and you're kicking it.
Kicking it with your...
Getting rid of it.
With your big boot.
Actually, there's an interesting conversation going on between Vitas and Lewis at the moment.
Okay.
On there about Vitas earlier on was saying that he's got lots of jobs to do today. Hasn't done any of them. And Lewis was suggesting that he was procrastinating.
Is that our fault?
Possibly our fault.
Uh,
So maybe tell us, just cut it out with all those live streams on a Sunday, because you're stopping me doing all my jobs. And then Lewis makes an interesting point. Well, if you are a Christian, then you shouldn't do work on a Sunday.
Oh, I see.
And of course, that is a very traditional way of looking at religion, Christian religion.
Well,
my mother used to be like that.
Well, we're talking about the Sabbath.
The Sabbath, yes, you don't. Sunday is a day of rest.
Yeah.
All the shops used to be shut when I was growing up. You didn't do anything.
It just depends which religion you are following. So for some people, it's Saturday. So the Sabbath for,
Yes.
I think, Jewish people who follow Judaism, it's Saturday. And I think Friday, I might be right. I'm sure someone is going to tell me Friday. I think Friday is sacred for, I think it's Catholics.
Not
Now,
sure.
I might be wrong
Was it
there.
Muslims? Don't know.
Because yes. Well, yes, I was going to say that as well. But I think also in Islam as well, I think Friday is the prayer day, the holy day. So I think it really depends on which one you're observing.
A lot of religions have one day when you're not supposed to do anything.
Mm.
You're supposed to devote your time to God.
Well, mine is every day. I think
course.
every day I shouldn't be doing anything.
Well, you could sign up to lots of religions,
Yeah.
and then you could probably, not have to work at least 3 or 4 days a week.
I am hoping that there will be a religion that says that every day you should not work. And that's the one. I'm not a religious person. I don't follow any religion, but that will be the one. If anyone comes along with a new religion and they say, look, you don't have to work at all. We will just send you money every week.
Petra says, I'm with you for the 3rd time now, and I've never stayed so long on an English teaching channel.
Wow.
Thank you very much for your work, gentlemen. Well, thank you for your comment, Petra.
Thank you very much. Well, we are different. We do things a little different. Not everyone likes this, but you know what they say? Those people who break the trend set the trend. So maybe in a year or two from now, everyone will be doing this, like this.
Well, they haven't yet. So.
No. But yes, well, that's what I'm saying.
I know, yeah.
At the moment, it's just us.
Magdalena P says, "How can I stop my neighbours? How can I tell my neighbours to stop their cats making a lot of poop in my garden?"
Well, yes.
Yes.
One of our neighbours, we used to have a problem with our neighbour. Not the neighbour. The neighbour wasn't coming into our garden and taking a poop.
Well, that would be
That would be a problem.
interesting.
But no, it was one of our neighbours' cats. And they come sometimes. And when they do it, they do their little poo-poo, but then they cover it. They try to cover it afterwards. But that's even worse, because you might be doing some gardening, and then you might put your hand onto the soil, and suddenly you've got a load of cat poop in your hand. And no one wants that.
I know, cats are annoying because you can't really keep them out of your garden. If your neighbour's got a dog, well, the dog is pretty much stopped by a fence. If you've got a good fence, the dog ain't going to get into your garden. But the cats, you can't stop a cat coming into your garden. I think that's a very difficult one. Magdalena, I think it was. Yes, it's a very difficult one to stop a cat. Maybe you could put barbed wire on your fence.
Electric fencing.
Electric fencing, yes, would be a good idea.
You could electrify the ground. So as the poop comes out, it touches the ground, and then the cat goes.
You can buy sprays that you spray around your garden that cats don't like the smell of, and like an anti-cat spray that they don't like. So maybe you could try that. Cats will come into your garden for a reason, I would think.
Yes.
Maybe you've got little mice in your garden. I mean, most gardens have got mice. We've got mouse holes everywhere. So if you killed all the mice, The cat wouldn't want to come in.
Don't do that.
But yes, maybe you can get something to spray around your garden that puts off cats. Or if you just see the cat, just go outside and give it a kick.
Okay. Again, I always feel as if I have to stop Steve slightly. Again, we are not condoning or encouraging people to kick cats, because this is 2022 and everyone is looking for a reason to try and remove another person from the internet or whatever.
You could do...
No, Steve, can we move on, please?
I was going to say, what you could do,
okay.
is throw the poop back into their garden.
Well, yeah.
That's a good one.
As long as it's the right cat.
Yes.
You're taking a risk there.
That's true.
Because you might be throwing poop into someone's garden.
Magdalena's
and it's not
spraying.
there. I'm still talking, Steve.
I thought you were finishing.
No, I was the sounds were still emanating from my mouth. So don't kick cats.
Well, if anyone's got any suggestions for Magdalena, this is the place. Maybe we could resolve this for you. If anyone knows how to keep cats out of your garden, please let us know.
Non-violent as well.
Can you get big cat traps, like a mouse trap?
I don't know, Steve. You can get squirrel traps. So I suppose you could use one of those. Anyway, Steve, please stop. Steve, leave it out. Just leave it out.
Cut it out.
Leave it out. Here we go. Another one. It's on the screen now, Steve. Leave it out. You're telling someone to stop doing something. Don't even think of doing that thing again. Just Steve, leave it out. Leave it out.
Don't do that thing.
Don't do it ever. I don't want to hear you say that ever again. Just leave it out. Leave it out.
Leave it out.
Leave it out. It's often used. We often think of it as being used in London with a Cockney accent. Although this is not Cockney slang, it isn't. But somebody might say, "Leave it out. Stop it. Leave it out."
Get a dog. Why didn't I think of that, says Valentin.
I'm not sure if that's
Get a dog.
That just might be presenting a load of new problems.
It could be, yes.
Because then you'll have dog poop to get up.
Yes, that's true.
You're replacing cat poop with dog poop. I don't think that would work.
Leave it out. Yeah, don't. Yeah, it's a way of telling somebody to stop doing something.
Yeah.
Fairly polite way, I would say.
Yes, it's quite blunt.
Yes.
Leave it out. Just leave it out. Here's another one, Steve. We need to move on. Oh, you might tell someone to knock it on the head.
Stop doing something.
Stop it.
Knock it on the head.
To bring something to a permanent end, you knock it on the head. Stop it. Just knock it on the head. You want that person to stop doing that thing. Knock it on the head. To stop, to end, to finish doing something. And quite often it means you won't be doing it again. You knock it on the head. It's over. Stop it.
I'm going to knock that on the head. You can use it. If you're doing something, you can say to yourself, "Oh, I'm going to knock that on the head." So, say you were, I don't know, going round to help a neighbour doing something, and you didn't want to do it, or you've got some friends that you go out drinking with, but you don't want to do it anymore. You can say, "Oh, I'm going to knock that on the head. I'm going to stop doing that particular task."
Yes.
And it's because you don't want to do it anymore.
Maybe you've started going to the gym,
yes,
and you want to keep healthy and fit, but then after a few weeks you become bored with it, and maybe your friend will ask, "Oh, are you still going to the gym?" And you reply with, "No, I've decided to knock it on the head.
Yeah.
I knocked it on the head. I've stopped doing it permanently."
Yeah.
It's a great expression, actually. Very, very, the figurative phrase, the way you use it, but it's also a little bit brutal as
yes,
well.
that's a good example that you used there, because it could be, it's for sort of tasks, isn't it? You often say it about yourself, about something you're doing, don't you? Knock it on the head. That's often a phrase you use yourself to describe something that you're going to stop doing. Maybe you smoke and you want to stop smoking. you might say, "Oh, I'm going to knock it on the head."
Rosa. I'm not sure if I can repeat what Rosa has written, but everyone tries to knock the cat's problem on the head.
Yeah.
Now, we're not... Steve, we are going to get into so much trouble here. We're not saying that you should knock something on the head physically. It's figurative.
Yes, it's figurative. It's not literal.
Real. So please don't chase the cat around the garden
It's figurative.
with a hammer.
You don't want to go to the gym anymore. You say to your friend, "Oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to knock it on the head."
Yeah.
You're not literally knocking anybody on the head.
Please, can no one knock anyone else or anyone's pets on the head, please?
I've got a part-time job, but you're getting too busy. You say, "I'm going to knock that on the head. I'm too busy.
Yes.
I'm going to just stick to my main job."
Here's another one, Steve. Give it a rest. Oh, give it a rest. Maybe your wife is telling you to go and tidy the garden.
And she keeps saying it to you over and over again.
When are you going to do the garden? Are you going to do the garden today? Are you going to go outside? That garden is so untidy.
Or the husband is saying to the wife, "Oh, come on, love, let's go to bed. Let's have a bit of,
What? No,
don't men pester their women for sex?
Yes, I don't think that's really...
and they keep doing it.
Yeah, okay, Steve, that's a terrible example.
Well, I don't think so, but she could say, "Oh, give it a rest."
Yes. Well, maybe the man is saying to the wife that the food that she cooks for him isn't good enough, and every day he goes, "Oh, look, love, your food, your cooking is terrible. Can you try and make something that actually tastes good?" And the wife will turn around and say, "Oh, give it a rest."
I think what was your first example?
The one was...
Yes, going to the gardening.
Yes,
Yes,
the wife is nagging at the husband.
It's if somebody, that expression is used, just somebody keeps asking you to do something repeatedly.
Yes.
Over a long period of time. Maybe they say it when you first get up in the morning.
Oh.
Are you going to tidy this bedroom out? Are you going to tidy this bedroom out? And they say it in the morning, then they say it at lunchtime, and then eventually you get annoyed and you say, "Oh, give it a rest. I'll do it when I'm ready."
Give it a rest.
It could be anything: tidying your room, doing some gardening, washing the car. Somebody's, give it a rest.
We often think of the nagging wife.
Give it a rest. Stop saying that thing to me over and over again,
Yes.
whatever it is.
So please don't do that again for a while. You are probably going to do it again and tell me and ask me and nag, but please don't do it again for a while. Please just give it a rest.
Yeah.
Give it a rest. Please stop.
Usually used when somebody is asking you to do something in a sort of a nagging way.
Yes. I don't like being nagged at. Fortunately for me, Mr. Steve is not a nagger. You might.
I could have an entirely different meaning.
Okay.
Mr. Duffy,
Is it?
but anyway.
Huh?
Let's
Okay.
carry on.
You might cut something out. So to stop something, again, we're still saying you are stopping something, but you cut out something. You are removing something. So, for example, you cut out unhealthy food. Food that you discover is unhealthy for you, a bit like last weekend. I'm not embarrassed to tell you this story. This is an embarrassing story. It's not embarrassing to Mr. Steve. It's actually me. I am now going to shame myself right here, live. I decided to wear Mr. Steve's suit last week. I thought the trousers would fit. I thought they would fit perfectly. Just one slight problem, something that I did not foresee, was my expanding waistline. I've actually got a little bit fatter, and I could not get Mr. Steve's trousers to go around my waist. So I had to get a belt to hold everything in. And even the belt wasn't big enough, was it?
I had to drill
It got-
extra holes in the belt.
Steve had to make another hole in the belt.
2 extra holes.
So I was a bit ashamed about that, but I didn't. So if anyone at the wedding last week noticed that my trousers looked as if they were about to fall down or burst, then that is the reason why. So I have decided to cut out unhealthy food. No more chocolate biscuits.
So you're going to cut out chocolate biscuits
No
from
more-
your diet.
No more Jaffa cakes.
You're going to cut out Jaffa cakes
Yes.
from your diet.
Jaffa cakes. Bye.
Seems implausible.
Bye, Jaffa cakes. Bye. I can't have Jaffa cakes.
Are you going to cut out potatoes?
I might cut down.
Cut down.
Yes.
Cut down.
Reduce.
There's a different way of yes. If you cut out something, you don't have it at all. If you cut down, it means you're just going to reduce it, but not cut it out altogether.
I can't say goodbye. I can't say goodbye to potatoes. It's the one thing. It's the one thing. I will eat everything. I will eat nothing else, but I will never say goodbye to potatoes. I can't.
Well, you see, the thing is, it's not potatoes aren't in themselves fattening, as you know, chocolate biscuits are not in themselves fattening. It's only if you eat too many of them.
Well, that's it.
That they will make you put them out. So that yeah.
So I have to cut out unhealthy food. So I'm going to stop eating food that is bad for me.
So yes, you could, for example, if there's one thing, I mean, chocolate biscuits are a good case in point because they're very high in calories.
Yes.
So rather than cut down, and they're not like an essential food group. So I mean, if you cut out potatoes,
I wish they were.
see, if you were to cut out potatoes, you're potentially cutting out something that is quite healthy because it's got fibre in it, vitamin C, and there's vitamins and minerals in there. But you could cut. But if you were to, you could cut out chocolate biscuits altogether, and you wouldn't notice any difference in your health because there's nothing in biscuits that really is good for you. Crisps, there's another one. Crisps, you might argue there's some little vitamins in there or minerals, but really they've got a lot of fat in them, so you can cut them out
Okay.
and help you to reduce weight, but not see any health detriment.
Okay, Steve. That was like a TED talk. So to cut out unhealthy food, I did weigh myself yesterday. I weighed myself.
Bye, Sandra. Have a lovely week.
Sandra, take care, and we're sending you all of our best wishes as well.
There we are. Christina says boiled potatoes are not unhealthy. No, but if you had a giant pile of them, they could become unhealthy.
Yes.
But, you know, moderation.
I do like eating potatoes. I weighed myself yesterday, and I haven't weighed I haven't weighed myself for, I think it must be almost a year. Do you want to know how much I weighed? I feel like one of those diet YouTube channels. Have you ever watched? There are some YouTube channels, Steve, where people who are overweight, they have too much weight, and they try to lose weight, and they call it their weight loss journey. So they make videos sometimes every day where they talk about their diet and they weigh themselves, and then they talk about their weight loss journey. And so a lot of people are doing that. But yesterday I weighed myself. I got on the scales and I was literally just slightly over, Steve,
Yes.
slightly over 13 stone. And I was amazed.
What's that in kilograms?
I don't know. Someone somewhere will work it out, so don't worry, Steve. 13 stone. And I was really worried that I would be much heavier. So I was surprised to find out that I'm only 13 stone, because I've been much heavier than that in the past. So I couldn't believe it. So even though I could not wear Mr. Steve's suit trousers last week, I had to force them over my big flabby belly, which is not a pretty sight. And then Mr. Steve had to give me a belt to tie around, and even that wasn't long enough. And I just love that. I love the fact that Steve had to go and put another hole in the belt.
How many of us have had to put extra holes in our belt
It's very embarrassing.
since the pandemic? Because a lot of us put on weight during the pandemic. And
At least I have a good excuse. I can blame the pandemic. That's it. So anything bad that I've done, I can just say, oh no, I know I've eaten too much food and I've got slightly fat, but it's the pandemic. That's what it is. Yes, that's the reason, and I'm sticking to it. We've got about 3 more, and then we will go. I can't take it anymore, Steve. I can't take it.
what can't you take?
I can't take it. Whatever it is, whatever the thing is, I can't take it anymore. Please stop. Please, I can't take it anymore. To express complete exhaustion because of an annoying thing. So maybe something that is annoying you, but you get to the point. You get to the point where you can't stand it anymore. Have you ever been in that situation, Steve?
Yes, I definitely have. I just can't take it anymore. I can't take this job anymore. It's so annoying, I'm going to quit, is what you could say.
I don't think you would ever do that.
Yes, it's something I just can't take it anymore. It's expressing utter frustration, and you have tried to cope with something that's annoying you, but you cannot cope any longer. I just can't take it anymore, and therefore you take some action to end it.
Or
Maybe it's something you've got control over, maybe it's something you haven't got control over.
Yes.
Yes, you're utterly mentally exhausted because something has annoyed you. I mean, a good example could be your partner, as Mr. Duncan. Cut it out, Mr. Duncan. See, that was a bit cruel because Mr. Duncan was actually choking.
My
on
throat.
his-
No, my throat is dry.
Yes. So yes, you could. Maybe somebody's bullying you at work, and annoying you and bullying you, and you go to the boss and say, "Look, I just can't take it anymore. That person, you either get rid of them or I'm going."
Yes. Yes, it's a situation that you cannot stand or bear anymore. This is an interesting one. We use this in legal terms.
Ah, right.
A person who does something, maybe you are infringing someone's copyright. Maybe you have stolen their video or their music. You might send that person a legal document. Cease and desist, which basically means stop or face further action. So a person who is doing something, maybe something against you, and you will then get your solicitor or your lawyer to send them a letter. And we often call it cease and desist. It means stop, cease and desist.
Desist.
Oh,
That's right.
hello. Jimmy, very nice. Can hold your horses be included in your please stop it category? Perhaps you can stop it for a while or stop it for a while, the category for that. Bless you, Mr. Duncan. Hello, Jimmy. Yes, you can hold your horses. You are telling someone to hold back. So maybe someone wants to start racing you or running, or they're starting something, and you say, wait a minute, it's not safe. Just hold your horses.
Or you could say that to me, Mr. Duncan, when I start talking about something that you might be talking about later. You might have already got planned.
Yes.
And you might try and stop me. Hold your horses, Mr. Steve. We're going to talk about that later. So you're just saying, oh, don't talk about that now, or don't do that thing now, because now isn't the appropriate time. Hold your horses. And it's a sort of a polite phrase in a way, isn't it? It's not a nasty phrase. You're saying, don't say something now, don't do that thing now. Mainly used in conversation, isn't it?
Yes.
Hold your horses. We'll come back to that later. So
Yes.
remember what you were going to say, because I'll ask you later to say that thing, whatever it was. Oh, thank you very much, Jimmy, for that very generous donation to Mr. Duncan's channel.
Thank you very much. And we will be looking for donations next week, by the way, except for Jimmy, of course. But we will be looking next week. I am going to be with you next week.
Well,
for an extra day.
Why, Mr. Duncan, would you want to be with your lovely viewers for an extra day?
An extra day next week,
What
Steve.
could possibly be happening next week that would justify you spending an extra day?
An extra day on YouTube.
Doing a live stream.
So I am with you on Wednesday, but also on Friday.
What's happening on Friday, Mr. Duncan? I just have no idea.
There is no particular reason why I am
What could it be? Pray tell. Pray tell. Well, what is it, Mr. Duncan?
It's my birthday.
It is.
Next Friday, my birthday. I hope you will join me. We have a special live stream celebrating another trip around the sun for me.
Well, it's somebody's birthday today that
Oh.
has been watching us.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Anna Wah. Are you still here, Anna?
Hello, Anna.
Happy birthday to you. Is Mr. Duncan readying his something? No?
What would you like?
Well, don't you normally have a special jingle for people when it's their birthdays?
I don't think so.
I thought we normally do something.
No.
like that. Well, happy birthday,
Yes.
Anna. I hope you're having a lovely day.
Maybe I should make one.
Yes. But
can
we always mention people if it's their birthday today. Is it anyone else's birthday today watching us? And are you still watching, Anna?
Huh?
Or did you get bored and go because we didn't mention your birthday?
No, everyone else mentioned it. Don't worry, Steve.
But there are other birthdays upcoming. Other birthdays upcoming.
Don't say that anyone is bored watching us.
Well, Anna might have been thinking, well, nobody, because Anna mentioned this some time
Yes,
ago.
lots of people on the live chat were saying happy birthday.
Oh, right. Well, happy.
Yeah.
We're saying it now. We're recognising your special day today. 21 again, are you?
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that our viewers are bored.
I was joking. Mr. Duncan. It's not a serious comment. It's just, Magdalena, it's her birthday on the 19th of August.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Petra's birthday is on the 17th.
Wow.
So this won't be next week. It'll be the week after.
Yes.
And Mosen's... that's not Mosen's birthday. Mosen has got a niece.
Anna is
new
still
niece.
Anna is still here. So
Anna's
can
still
I say right now, happy birthday, Anna. Happy, 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 happy birthday to you, Anna.
Claudia was getting very excited about your birthday on Friday earlier, I noticed as well.
Yeah, next Friday. So again, I must mention we are with you on Wednesday
Rosa wants to be invited to the party.
and Friday. Wednesday and Friday next week. On Friday, it is my birthday. I'm losing my voice today. I don't know why.
Am says, have you any plans for your birthday? Well, obviously you've now announced you're going to do a live stream.
We'll be here.
That's if you've got time, because it will take you, a long time to open all your presents and gifts.
But I'm also looking for something else on Friday. We are going to open, I don't do this very often, so I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. We'll be opening up for donations to help this continue. Because as you know, it's all free. So on my birthday, if we want to send a small donation on Friday, I'm opening it up, and it's just the one day one day, Friday, the 12th of August. I don't do it all the time, but just the one day we are doing it. And the only person I'm not asking is Jimmy, because Jimmy has just done it. So thank you very much, Jimmy.
In advance.
Very nice, very nice. So that's what we're doing on Friday. We are here, and hopefully we will be looking for some donations. Not big ones. You don't have to send £1 million.
Although, if you want to send £1 million,
If you want to,
feel free.
we're not going to stop you.
We won't stop you
We won't
in
stop.
any way.
No.
We won't say, cut it out.
Yes.
Don't send us £1 million.
Please stop sending me £1 million.
Hold
Please,
your
just
horses.
Stop it.
We won't say, hold your horses on that million. We'll just say, go ahead and
Yes,
do it.
yes. Just let yourself go.
Anybody won the Euro Millions feel like sending any Mr. Duncan's way?
Yeah. You don't have to
Yeah.
send £1 million. You can send just a couple of pounds. You see?
Well, you see, with your million subscribers, if
Yeah.
every subscriber sent you £1, you would be a millionaire, Mr. Duncan.
Well, not for long though.
Why not?
Well,
What with inflation? You mean?
it's 40% tax.
Well, mind you, I mean, 600,000 would still be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, but
I could get my Ford Mustang.
Oh, we've got another super chat. Thank you, Bruno.
Bruno.
That's very kind of you, Bruno. Thank you. Save everything else for Friday because we are about to go. So we will be leaving in a moment, but we are back. I'm back on Wednesday on my own, and then we are together, both of us together on Friday to celebrate another year of my existence.
Assuming I can get the day off work, which I'm pretty confident I can.
Oh, okay. Well, you haven't asked yet.
I have asked, but
Okay.
my boss is on holiday, so she hasn't been able to approve it yet. But there will not be any argument.
I hope not.
No, there won't be.
They will have to deal with me. They
Well,
will
put it
have-
this way.
They will have to deal with me.
I'll just go off sick.
Yes. Won't that look a bit suspicious, though, if you're on the live stream?
Well, you see, I've got all week to become sick, you see. So
I
could
can
say-
always break one of your arms to make it
It's a
look
bit
real.
extreme,
to
Mr.
make,
Duncan.
To make it look
It's a
realistic.
bit extreme. All you've got to do now to get off sick is to say you've got COVID.
Oh, okay, then.
Can't go into work, I've got COVID, sorry.
Again.
Lots of people are taking time off work
Actually-
illegally by
Actually,
saying
you
they've got
can get COVID. You can get coronavirus twice because Joe Biden got it last week twice. So there, you can do it.
Are you
Will-
going to reveal your age, Mr. Duncan?
Maybe
Says
I will
Inaki.
see how I'm feeling. If I don't feel too old next Friday, I will do it.
There are lots of clues in Mr. Duncan's past videos about his age when he actually gives his age away. So if you were to search through and watch some of Mr. Duncan's birthday videos,
Yes, or
then-
there is a lesson about death as well. I did a lesson about death where I'm standing next to my own tombstone and my date of birth is on there as well, which, always cheers me up.
well, lots of people wanting to come to the party. Petra wants to come. Nitram wants to come. Whatever is the party that are
Well-
we having a party?
Well, the party will be here in this little
Oh,
box.
yes, this is the
Do
party.
you see this little box here that you're looking at? This is where we will be, inside this little box.
We'll have cake. We'll have treats. We'll have surprises. We might have balloons.
Yeah, we might.
We might even have balloons.
Yeah.
Jelly and ice cream. We'll have the lot.
Yes.
It'll be a wonderful time. We'll all have a nice little party together to celebrate Mr. Duncan's
Mr. Burr,
Mr. Duncan's special birthday.
I thought you were going to call me Mr. Birthday. I might be
might
on
do.
Friday. I might. So we're having a big birthday celebration on Friday, but I am with you with my normal live stream on Wednesday. Don't forget that. There is an extra one this week on Friday.
Beatrice is going.
Yeah, and so are we.
We are. That's right. Yes.
We have done overtime today. We have
You're
gone-
correct. It's 10 past, and you were actually on time today.
I was. Don't sound so surprised.
But it must have shocked your viewers.
Yeah.
But right. So,
Mhm.
do you want me to go into the kitchen and? I've got a confession to make, Mr. Duncan. I've got a confession to make.
Okay.
So, you wanted me to make my special meal tonight. which was the
Chili con carne.
chili con carne, and you reminded me this morning that it needed to go on before the live stream.
Yes, and you forgot.
And I forgot. So 10 minutes before the live stream, I chucked everything into the slow cooker.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Wait there. Let me just stop you a cotton-picking moment.
Cease and desist.
You said, I told you this morning, you said you were going to do it, and you forgot. This is worse than last night when you forgot your mobile phone. You left it in a church hall.
Oh, cut it out, Mr. Duncan.
Okay. It's time for me to cut you out.
Yes, so 10 minutes before we came on, I was literally, I'm not joking, chopping onions, frying them with the meat, chucking everything into the slow cooker.
Yes, throwing it in.
And we had a little break, didn't we, about half an hour in.
Okay.
And I went into the kitchen to check on it, and guess what?
It was burnt.
No, I hadn't switched the slow cooker on. So I've switched it on super high.
So the chili con carne that we're supposed to be having tonight is still cold.
I'm hoping it's has warmed up in the last hour.
We might be having our meal at around about midnight tonight.
Of course, we're using a slow cooker, Mr. Duncan.
Steve, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep forgetting ththings?
It's my age.
Is it your
Must
age?
be my age, yes.
Dear.
Cut it out. Stop annoying me, Mr. Duncan. I've lost my train of thought now. Yes, we're using the slow cooker.
That doesn't take much doing.
In order to save electricity because of the rising cost.
Okay. Anyway. You say this every week. Please cheer me up.
Well,
Stop being so depressing.
It's already working. We are saving electricity because I have noticed that our bills are getting lower, not higher.
Okay.
Lower.
Great. Good. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
I'm going to stop helping you on the live stream.
Yes. Cut it out.
Yes, I'm going to cut it out. That's
Okay.
not really the right. And I'm going to go into the kitchen and I'm going to make a cup of tea and I'm going to eat something because I'm hungry.
Okay.
So see you all on Friday.
Yes.
I'll be here on Friday.
My birthday.
But Mr. Duncan will be here on Wednesday.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your week.
Bye, Mr. Steve. That was Mr. Steve, by the way. I hope you enjoyed that, whatever it was. So there was Mr. Steve. He's gone now. And in a few moments, I will also do the same thing. I am about to depart as well. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Oh, look, there's a little car going by. Can you see it? Oh, okay, maybe not. I thought there was a car going past behind me. Yes, that is live behind me. A lot of people don't think it is. They think it's recorded, but it isn't. That is live right now on a beautiful, hot August day. Thank you for your company. I'm going now. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching me today. I hope it has been enjoyable, and I will see you on Wednesday, back with you on Wednesday, and of course, we are together on Friday with Mr. Steve joining us. He will be joining in with my birthday on Friday. Thank you for watching. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language, saying thank you for watching today. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Take care of yourself wherever you are in the world. Ta-ta for now.